Today we've come to the Malverns on a Riese Muller Delite mountain to show you why it is the best electric mountain bike you can buy. Yeah. Missed our first turning. Rufus is in charge of the sat-nav today on his bike.
Just flying up this hill.
So this is a very steep climb. Private driveway.
Straight in with the super steep climb. We'll be up on the top in no time. First gear, turbo.
Nice. Today I've been riding the Delite Mountain, full suspension bike, single battery. So this is the Delite, not the Super Delite. So Super Delite would have an extra battery in the top here. Now, the difference between the Delite Mountain and the standard Delite GT Rohloff is basically this is a stripped down version of the bike, really made for playing, for sports. It's a really, really good toy. Essentially that means we haven't got any mudguards on the back. It doesn't come as standard with the rear rack on it, and it does come with these far wider tyres that are on here as well. As standard as well, the Fox Float suspension is on there. Okay, so this is keeps pedalling at the same speed. Trying not to push too hard all of a sudden. So we're going to either go over the back or the back wheel's going to spin.
Right, I need to concentrate. Oh! That front wheel coming up.
So this bike, when we're riding it off-road, is absolutely superb, and we found probably where this bike is actually better than the Delite GT Rohloff, and that's got to be on some of the big hill climbs. Standard specification on this bike also includes a dropper post. On here we've got oversized discs on the front, so I think we've got 203 discs on the front with MT5 brakes. On the back we've got an MT4, probably looking at that's probably a 203 mil rear disc as well, so quite powerful braking that we've got. And of course it comes with the Bosch Performance Line CX motor with the 85 Newton meter of torque and 250 watts of power, and standard battery in here is 625 watt hours. He's probably trying to work out how the walk assist works. Don't know if you can see how steep that is.
I'm just going to film me falling off when I'm here.
Now I'm thinking I've gone and left my bike right at the top up there, middle of nowhere. Hopefully nobody's going to nick it. Well, I don't know if you can see Rufus is still right down here. So Rufus is riding on the Delite GT Rohloff. So same bikes, same frame, same battery, same motor. Difference is that he's got a Johnny Watts tyre, whereas I've got knobby nicks. So I've got bigger, fatter tyres, and he's fitted with sensible stuff like mudguards, rear rack, and all that sort of stuff. He's also got the sat-nav, so he's guiding us around the route today.
I'm going to blame these thin tyres, but just skidding everywhere. Oh well. A little bit of pushing to warm us up.
Okay, so here's a demonstration of how you start on a hill. Turbo, yeah? Lowest gear? What could possibly go wrong?
Wheel spinach.
Yeah, straight over the back, my guess. Oh, he's off.
Keep it slow down, that's my advice.
Oh, and my bike is still here as well. Magic. And on a subject of tyres, I guess if you are looking for the best of both worlds, so obviously these big fat tyres don't fit under the mudguards, which is why I'm going to have mud up my back. You could always swap out for another Schwalbe tyre, so the bikes used to be fitted with rock razors, which are a far more open tread pattern. You could put those onto your bike. We did find that they punctured a lot easier, whoops, which could be a bit frustrating. Or we have managed on a couple of Delite mountains for our customers to buy some aftermarket mudguards, which have been one way. of riding with the bigger tyres. It comes with a chain of cassette on the back here, so it's a, let me wait 2 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's an 11-speed bike. The biggest chainring on there is a 50 tooth, so it's got really, really low gear. And again, we found that as you start climbing the hills, you can really just get all the way back down, stay in the saddle, and just keep on climbing and climbing and climbing. The chain of cassette is absolutely brilliant. It does mean that this is a lighter weight bike, so lighter than the hub versions of this bike. But I guess the downside for people would be the maintenance that you've got to do. So you do need to oil it, you will need to index the gears, and it is going to chew through cassettes and chains over time. The preferred option that most people go for when they buy the Delite Mountain is actually the Rohloff spec of it. So this exact same bike you can then have with a belt drive on it and a 14-speed Rohloff hub in the rear. And then the second option that people go for is then the second battery. And that's really what makes these Riese, Muller, Delite and Super Delite Mountain standout bikes way above specification of all the other bikes out there. It's that twin battery and the Rohloff hub options that are absolutely superb.
You just get up so quickly here, straight up. So within 20 minutes, you got some amazing views. You're right on top of the town. It is one of the easiest places to come to get the kind of, it's not a mountain experience, but the big hills, the lakey experience. Come to the Malverns. And in 20 minutes, you're on top of the world.
This bike is fitted with the kiosk display, and that's this little thing here on a magnet that sits onto the handlebars. If you are looking for a toy, something really sort of lightweight and straightforward, the kiosk is brilliant. And another option on this one, these bikes, so the Delite Mountain comes as standard with lights on there. So there's a rear light hidden down the back here, really sneaky little light, very, very bright. But most importantly, it's got this massive headlight on the front as well. It's a Supernova M99 Mini, I think it's called. And it comes with a main beam and dip on it as well. So if you are going to be doing some of the riding through the woods at night, this is the type of light you're going to be wanting. And that is obviously connected straight into the battery as well. So it's pulling power from the battery the whole time. We're saying, don't do anything risky today because of the ambulance strikes. And me, I never fall off. So I'm just asking for trouble, so I think I might be taking this one a bit slow.
This is just phenomenal. Look at it. It's just awesome.
This place is absolutely nuts. Every single corner you go round, there's another incredible view. And I don't know if you can see because I've got the sun behind me, but I've literally come from just down here along the side, and we've got this view going on all the way up here. And I can see as I come around the corner here, there's another one. And we haven't even started to sort of head up over the other side of the hill over here to see Gloucestershire, Worcestershire, all out that way. Rufus was telling me, he was reading Wikipedia or something on the way up, and he was telling me that there's something like 13 different counties you can see from up on the top of the beacon here. And now you're here, you can see why, it goes on for miles. So on this bike as well, we're fitted with these really nice pedals. So they've got these studs on here, so metal pedals with studs in there that you can take out. Downside of those, we found out very early on, I say, they're really good for ripping your trousers, and they take nice big chunks out of your shins. So if you're looking for lumps out your shins and ripped trousers, they're superb. But probably the best use of them is as you're dropping downhill, your feet just bite onto those pedals and they are not coming off at all. So it gives you a lot more confidence as you drop off the side of the hills. So riding back up again to Worcester Beacon. I've just done a quick downhill blast for Rufus so he could get some on the drone. And about halfway down I realised on this bike I've got Fox float suspension. Well, I didn't just realise that, I knew that all along. But I locked it out earlier in the day just to make the climbing an awful lot easier. And what I should have done was open it up again so that when I start to do the downhill stuff it really digs in. But instead you'll probably see I'm bouncing all over the places I'm coming down the hill because I've got the suspension locked out. But hey-ho, saved me locking it back out again to climb back up again. When people come into the shop, I sort of describe this bike as being a toy. Essentially, that is what it is. And I sort of ask people what type of riding they're going to be doing. Most people are sort of saying I'm going to be doing a bit of commuting, a bit of trail riding, and I push them towards the Delite GT Rohloff or Super Delite GT Rohloff. Not many people sort of come into our shop, specifically Riese and Muller, saying, yeah, I want the toy, I want, you know, the really, really good off-road bike. Having ridden this today, this bike is absolutely superb and it outstrips the Delite GT Rohloff every time with the off-road riding experience. And I've done some really good fun descents on this where you can just let go of the brakes. The travel on the suspension is brilliant. The tyres are so big they're just planted to the floor the whole time. So I would probably prefer, and it's probably me being a bit lazy, I would go for the Rohloff hub over the chain and cassette version that was here. As for whether I'd go single battery or twin, we have done a route today that's not massive, so we'll probably by the end of the day we'll have done maybe 10-15 miles at the most, and this bike is going to eat that easily, mostly off-road. It's easy going to do it on that single battery, and it's been a good sort of couple of hours riding, you know, out playing around here. So I've happily done it with single battery that's in here. But then I always want to go further, so I always want to do a full day of riding. So maybe the option of a second battery is good, but then a second battery makes the bike a bit heavier. So I'm going to be wild here and say I would probably go for a single battery. And on the days when I want to do a massive ride, I'm just going to find a way of carrying a second battery that I've stolen from the shop and stick it into my rucksack. As we've been going along the tracks and stuff, you just chuck it up and then you get full leg extension and you can ride flat out 20 mile an hour, no problem at all. And then when you're coming off the top of some of those hills, you just need it out the way. Otherwise it's pushing you up over the top, ready to launch yourself over the handlebars. So get the saddle down, bum off the back of it, lying down nice and low, and at least you're going to look good when you go over the handlebars. On the downside with this one, the tyres are very big, so when we're riding along the road, this is pretty sluggish. So this is pretty much an all-out off-road toy. So if you're looking for toys, this is probably the right bike to go for.